way for evaluating value in the world, God wouldn't have put man in a garden. He would have put him in a bakery. When God made man, he put him in a garden. Why? Gardens are God's ideal environment for man, which, by the way, we can learn a lot from gardening. Okay. I know. Right? Okay. So God,
this is going to be good. I can just really, really good.
So God makes man. It says God planted a garden eastward in Eden. So God's the one who made the garden. Then he made the man and put the man in the garden. Mm-hmm. Okay. He put the man in the garden to dress it and keep it. What's dress mean? It means to cultivate. Keep, what's that mean? To protect it. But the garden, the word garden means enclosure, so it was already a protected place. The word Eden means pleasure. So God's ideal environment for man is a protected place of pleasure and provision. That's God's ideal environment for man, the protected place of pleasure and provision. Okay, you're tracking. I can see it. It's like the lights, you're lighting up right now. Okay, so cool. So
you discovered this.
It's in the Bible.
Yeah.
I just looked up the words.
Yo, you can't be hitting me with I just looked at it. Listen, the way you're processing this information is very, very different.
Is it? Okay. Yeah. I believe you. I believe you. I'm not even going to argue with you. I believe that what you're saying is true.
Let's go.
Okay. So the Garden of Eden is the protected place of pleasure and provision, but God puts the man there to protect the place that's protecting him. Because that's what it says, to dress it and keep it. Okay, cool. Well, what was the man made from? What did God use to make man?
Dust of the ground and breath
Dust of the ground, right. Okay. So God goes down in the dirt, the same dirt that he planted the garden in, and he makes the man from the same dirt. So the man is made from the same dust that the garden is planted in. Okay, that's cool. So when God first spoke to man, the first thing God ever tells us about God is that he's creative. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. When I read that, I ask, why would he do that? Mm-hmm. He doesn't need anything. He doesn't need heaven. He doesn't need earth, doesn't need people. So why would he do all that? The only answer I've been able to come up with, and maybe you have a better one or somebody else does, because he is creative and therefore it is his nature to create. God created everything as an expression of his creativity. Okay, cool. That's the first thing God tells. First thing God tells us about God is not that he's love, it's not that he's righteous, it's not that he's jealous, it's not that he's just. Even though he's all those things, the first thing God tells us about God is that he's creative. Cool, that's so cool. The first thing that he tells us about us is that he created us in his image, which means he created us to be creative and he made us to make stuff. Because we're made in the image of God.
I'm writing these.
You're with me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But what's the first thing God ever said to man? Like when you meet somebody and it's somebody important and you tell them something, the thing you tell them, or this meeting's important, the first thing that you tell them is one of the most important things you want them to know, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. What's the first thing God ever said to man? Like this is the first conversation between God and man ever. And God says, be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth and subdue it. Okay, what does that mean? Be fruitful. What's fruit? What's fruitful mean? Well, Genesis 1 tells us what a fruit is. A fruit is a living organism whose seed is in itself. So when God's saying be fruitful, he's saying to the man, you produce on the outside of you based on the seed that I planted on the inside of you. So what's the seed that God planted on the inside of us? I believe that God planted an aspect of his creativity inside of all of us. Mm-hmm. And our job is to cultivate that creativity in the garden that is us to make it bring forth fruit.
Okay. Help me understand. Help me understand that on
I'm fixing to.
On an implementation level.
Oh, I'm about to. Oh yeah, we ain't gonna keep it all up here. We're gonna get down and play in the dirt.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So he said, be fruitful and multiply. So when he said, be fruitful, produce on the outside based on what I put on the inside. Multiply. What's that mean? Increase.
Yeah.
What is increase? It means be fruitful, multiply. Multiply means increase. In other words, the natural result of fruitfulness is growth. Mm-hmm. You're going to become more than you've been. You're going to have more than you've had. You're going to do more than you've done. Okay, cool. Be fruitful, multiply. Replenish the earth. Fill up the earth. That's the natural result of increase. Mm-hmm. And then you'll have dominion. Cool. God planted an aspect of his creativity as a seed inside of us. Now, here's what's interesting. That's my daughter. Mm-hmm. He gave her a different aspect of his creativity than he gave me. He gave me a different aspect than he gave her. He gave you a different aspect than he gave me. He gave me a different aspect than he gave you. And what's interesting is, about our eyes, the only person we can't see is ourselves. Unless we look in a mirror, right? We can't. I can't look at me. I can look at you, right? So it's easy for me to see what gifts you have. It's way harder for me to see what gifts I have, right? And so we go around, most people go around wishing God had planted somebody else's seed inside of us. And so we neglect our seed and don't dress and keep our garden because we're wishing we had their seed. But they're at the same time looking at us and wishing they had ours.
Man, that's interesting.
It is. So here's what it says. Now I'm going to bring it home. I'm going to bring it home to the practical. You ready?
I think you brought it home already a little bit.
Okay. No.
It's home, right, Reese?
No, it ain't home. It's about
it's
about to be home. It's about to be home.
We're in the driveway for sure.
Okay, we're on the street.
Like as you're talking, I'm like, wow.
We're on the street. We're on the street.
Okay.
We're on the street. Isaiah chapter 55. It says, "Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he's near. Let the wicked forsake his way and the unrighteous man his thoughts. Let him return unto the Lord. He will have mercy upon him, and to our God he will abundantly pardon. For my ways are not your ways, saith the Lord, neither are my thoughts your thoughts." You ready? Here it is.
Let's go. "As the rain cometh down, and the snow from heaven, and watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud." The rain and the snow come from heaven and water the earth and make the earth bring forth and bud. Why? That it may give bread to the eater, that's consumption to the consumer, and seed to the sower, that's production to the producer. You ready? "So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. And it," what? "My word shall prosper in the thing." It will not return unto me void, but it will prosper in the thing whereunto I sent it. So I'm going to tell you the real secret sauce behind everything Myron Golden. You ready? Talk to me.
Since I was 17 years old, I have watered the soil that is me and saturated it with the truth of the word of God. And that word makes my life productive, so that it may give bread to the eater, consumption to the consumer, and seed to the sower, production to the producer.
We're home. We're home. First off, I just want to get y'all. That was
the biggest mistake I ever made as a parent, in my opinion, was letting my children go to public school. The second biggest mistake was letting them go to a school at all. Can I share with your listeners what I perceive to be the biggest difference between like rich people and the poor and middle class?
Don't share them. Don't share with them. Just tell me. If you like the video that you just watched, click this one. You're going to like this one, maybe even more. Click it right now.